Hi again, Mark here from TalkingBass.net. This week I'm going to run through 5 simple scales that in my opinion are the most useful for developing a solid foundation for beginners to build from. So I'll just quickly run through the most common fingerings for each of these scales in 1 octave. But I do have to say before I start that these are only small basic shapes just to get you started. There are many different ways to play any scale. The notes of a scale are the notes of a scale. So C major is C, D, E, F, G, A, B. G major is G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. So remember, you can look to play any of those notes all over the neck and extend the scales over many octaves. And I'll give you a few tips on how to look to do that in the future at the end of this lesson.
Number 1, the major scale.
The major scale is the most common and most important scale in all of Western music, and it's the basis for what we know as the key of a tune. I'll be showing you all of these scales from a root note of C so you can compare them easily. So let's start with a simple C major scale starting on the C 3rd fret of the A string, okay? So we begin with C, 3rd fret, then we play D, 5th fret of the A string. Then we move on to the D string and we play E, 2nd fret, F, 3rd fret, and then G, the 5th fret. Then we move on to the G string and we play A, the 2nd fret, B, the 4th fret, and then C, the 5th fret. Okay? So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. In terms of the fingering on this hand, on the fretting hand, we've got 2nd finger and then 4th finger for the C and the D. Then when we move to the D string, we've got 1st finger, 2nd finger, 4th finger. Then for the G string, we have 1st finger, 3rd finger, 4th finger. Just in case you don't know what I'm talking about with the fingering, we've got 1st finger, 2nd finger, 3rd finger, 4th finger. Okay? So that's the basic C major scale. So you want to play up and down. Okay? And obviously don't worry about playing it fast or anything like that, just play it slowly, get it under your fingers, okay? Once you have that major scale under your fingers, just try moving it around the neck. So that finger pattern remains the same no matter where you are. So if I moved up to D, so a D major scale, exactly the same fretboard pattern, okay? So I'd have the 2nd finger, 4th finger, 1st finger, 2nd finger, 4th finger, 1st finger, 3rd finger, 4th finger. So you can kind of see it as a fingering pattern. So you can just move it around. Here's a G major, A major. Okay, you just see it as a little kind of picture on the fretboard. One thing that you can do, just as a mindless exercise, is just play up and down the neck, just going 1 fret at a time, just working through all of the major scales. So if we begin on a C major, and I'm going to play, a lot quicker than you probably will, just for the sake of the exercise. Then we move up 1 fret to C sharp, so we're on the 4th fret of the A string, and play that major scale. Then we move up another fret to D, so the D major scale. Up another fret, E flat, or D sharp. Up another fret to the E, 7th fret of the A string. And we just carry on, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, or A flat, A, B flat, or A sharp, B, and C. So we're back to C there. So we've played every one of the major scales there, just working up, and then you can work back down the neck. Just working 1 fret at a time. Then you could try the same thing starting on the E string, so we could start at the G there, up to the G sharp, A, etc. Just working up and then back down. So like I say, it's a mindless exercise just to get that major scale under your fingers, to see that pattern, and it gives you a little bit of help with your technique so you can work across the strings more easily. And one little tip with a lot of these scales, don't worry about it too much at first, but try alternating the fingers as you play. So, As a beginner, you could just play with a single finger there, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. You know, that's fine, but once you've developed your technique a little bit and you're looking to further it, try alternating the fingers. So index, middle, index, middle, index, middle. You know, alternate every time. Okay, so don't worry about that too much at first, but you know, as you start to develop and you've got that major scale under your fingers, try bringing in a little bit of alternate picking.
Number 2, the major pentatonic scale.
The major scale that we just looked at is a 7-note scale. So just think of the notes of C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then we're back to C. That's 7 different notes. A pentatonic scale is a 5-note scale. Now the most popular pentatonics are the major pentatonic and the minor pentatonic. We'll be looking at the minor pentatonic later in this lesson, but for now, let's have a look at the major pentatonic. The major pentatonic is really easy to learn if you just see it simply as a variation on the major scale that we've already covered. All we have to do is remove the 4th and the 7th degrees. So let's have a look at the C major scale again. So 3rd fret of the A string there. Now just number those notes, and that's the numbering of the scale degrees. So we have C is 1, D is 2, E is 3, F is 4, G is 5, A is 6, B is 7, and then we're back to C, which is the first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and back to 1. Simple as that. We're just numbering the notes of the scale. So now all we have to do to get a major pentatonic is remove the 4th and the 7th. So we've got C the first, that's fine. D second, that's fine. E the third, that's fine. Then the F, the 4th, we missed that out. So we could then just proceed to the G, the 5th, 6th, A, and then we miss out the 7th, the B. So we just go straight to that octave there. So we have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and then back to the root. Okay, so that's the major pentatonic scale. So if you know the major scale, it's very easy to learn. You can just see it as that variation. But I'll just run through the notes again anyway, just in case that doesn't make any sense to you. So once again, we start on the A string, C and D, 3rd fret, 5th fret, then move to the D string, E, the 2nd fret, and G, the 5th fret. Then we move to the G string, A, the 2nd fret, and then C, the 5th fret. Simple as that. So 3, 5, then 2, 5, then 2, 5 in terms of the frets. C, D, E, G, A, C. Just learn that up and down and get used to the sound of it. Just as with the major scale, we can move that scale all around the neck. So there's a D, E flat, G. Wherever we move that pattern, it's still a major pentatonic. Now the major pentatonic is a really popular scale that you can use for playing over any major type chords. And if you want to learn more about the application of these scales, I've provided some links in the info below.
Number 3, the natural minor scale.
The natural minor scale is a really handy scale to learn for beginners because just like the major scale, it's very foundational in terms of looking at major and minor keys. But it's also a really good scale to use when looking at other minor type scales because they can always just be seen as variations on this basic common shape. So let's have a look at a C natural minor scale. So this time we're going to begin with the 1st finger of the fretting hand, okay? So we begin 3rd fret of the A string again. So we're going to have C, then D, 5th fret, then E flat, the 6th fret. So they're all on the A string there. So we're using the fingers 1st, 3rd, and 4th. Okay, C, D, E flat. Then we move to the D string and play exactly the same finger pattern. So we have F, 3rd fret, G, 5th fret, and then A flat, 6th fret. So that's 1st finger, 3rd finger, 4th finger. So you can see there on the A and the D strings, I've got exactly the same pattern. 1st finger, 3rd finger, 4th finger, 1st finger, 3rd finger, 4th finger. Okay, if you're using this kind of 1 finger per fret system. Then we finally move up to the G string, play B flat and C, so that's 3rd fret and 5th fret, okay? So all of these lines on each of these strings is working from that 3rd fret. So once again, C, D, E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, okay? 3rd fret, 5th fret, 6th fret, 3rd fret, 5th fret, 6th fret, 3rd fret, 5th fret, okay? Play it up and back down, okay? And that's the C natural minor scale. As with the other scales, try playing that natural minor all over the neck. So again, you could work up 1 fret at a time. All the way up and all the way down. And another thing to really bear in mind when you're learning any of these scales is really try to take notice to how they sound, okay? Because that's how you're going to employ them. Each of these scales is really a palette of notes that you use in creating music. So you really want to listen out for the kind of emotive value that you get in various notes. So just on a very basic level, if we listen to that natural minor scale again, it's often said to have a bit of a melancholy sound or a sad kind of sound. If we listen to the major scale again, it's got a more uplifting vibe. So it's a little more happy, okay? So it's mainly because of the 3rd in there. So if we have a listen to the natural minor scale again, there's that sad 3rd and that sad 6th. Here's that major 3rd in the major scale. Okay, much more uplifting. Okay, so in a very, very general way, the major scale sounds more happy, the natural minor scale sounds more sad. Okay? That doesn't mean that you can't have sad songs in a major key, but, you know, just when you're learning these things, really pay attention to how they sound.
Number 4, the minor pentatonic scale.
So, just as the major pentatonic scale was easy to learn as a variation on the major scale, the minor pentatonic is easy to learn as a variation on the natural minor scale. This time we'll be missing out a couple of different notes. So this time we're missing out the 2nd and the 6th. So let's have another look at the natural minor. So on C. So let's number those notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're back to 1. So we're going to miss out the 2nd. So there's the root. There's the 2nd, we missed that out, so we go straight to the E flat, then we work up F, G, then we get to the 6th, the A flat, we missed that out again, jump straight to the B flat, okay? So we're just missing out the 2nd and the 6th of the natural minor. So we end up with the following. Okay, so very neutral sounding kind of scale there. So I'll just run through the notes again. So we have C and E flat on the A string, so that's 3rd fret and 6th fret. Then we move on to the D string and have the F and the G, so that's 3rd fret and 5th fret. And then we finally move to the G string, have B flat and C, 3rd fret and 5th fret. Okay, so that's the minor pentatonic scale. The minor pentatonic is a really common scale, particularly in rock styles, where you get fills that sound a little bit like this. Okay, and again, I've got lessons devoted to the minor pentatonic and how you can use it for riffs and fills and runs, so just check out the info below the video.
Number 5, the blues scale.
Okay, for this final scale, we're going to have a look at a popular variation on that minor pentatonic in the shape of the blues scale, which you might also see referred to as the minor blues scale. And all we've got to do is add 1 note to the minor pentatonic. So first of all, here's how the blues scale sounds. So I'll play a C blues scale. Okay, so that's a C blues scale. Now, let's have a look at the C minor pentatonic. Okay, so you should all have that under your fingers by now. So, minor pentatonic. All we have to do is add a note in between the 4th and the 5th intervals here. So if we work up, so we've got C, E flat, so 3rd fret, 6th fret on the A string. Then on the D string, we have 3rd fret, 4th fret, 5th fret. So F, F sharp, G, okay? So we've got that little 1, 2, 3 finger in there. Then we just move up onto the G string again, B flat, C, 3rd fret and 5th fret. So, 3rd fret, 6th fret A string, 3rd fret, 4th fret, 5th fret on the D string, and then 3rd fret, 5th fret on the G string. Okay? As the name suggests, the blues scale is used a lot in blues. Okay, so it's often seen as a bit of a kind of one-size-fits-all scale for soloing over a whole blues progression, but we can use it in bass riffs and fills. It's not just a scale for soloing, and I've got a lesson devoted to that scale on YouTube, so again, go check it out. Now, just to finish off, I'll give you a little more info on how to move forward with these scales once you have them down. You have to remember that, as I said earlier, the notes of a scale are just the notes of a scale. So once you have that palette of notes, you can learn those notes all over the neck. So a C major scale is just the notes C, D, E, F, G, A and B. And wherever I play those notes, I'm still playing a C major scale. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. You know, I played them all over the neck there, but they were all still notes from the C major scale. It's just a palette. So once you have the notes of a scale nailed in one pattern in a single octave, you can try learning those scales through several different octaves. So for instance, here's an A major scale played over 2 octaves. Or maybe here's a G major scale played over 3 octaves. You can also learn several different patterns for the same scale. So a major scale can be played starting on that second finger, just as we learned earlier, but we could also learn it starting on the first finger. Or maybe even the fourth finger. Okay, so that's the exact same scale, the same set of notes from the same C to the same C, but using a different pattern. Second finger, first finger, and fourth finger. And by doing that, we can cover a lot more real estate on the neck. But again, I've got lessons devoted to this on YouTube and talkingbass.net. It's also important to extend the scales in any one position that you're playing. So instead of just playing the C major from C to C, take it as high in a position as you can go and also as low as you can go. So if I was here in this position with the C on the 3rd fret of the A string, I could play up and then down, but extend it below to go all the way down to that F. So that's all the notes of C major in that position. Or if I was down here, I can extend up all the way up to that F and then down below the C. So all of the notes of C major or whatever scale you're using in any one position. You can also try limiting yourself by maybe playing the scale on 2 strings or maybe even 1 string. Finally, probably one of the most important tips when you're learning these scales is to learn them by note name. So learn that C major is C, D, E, F, G, A, B. G major would be G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp. D major would be D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and so on through any scale that you're learning. And this really helps with learning the scales all over the fretboard, and also gives you a much better all-round knowledge of keys. So, you know, learn them all by note name, and I do have a lesson devoted to learning them in this way by using spelling drills, and again, I'll link to that in the info below. But one other exercise that you can do that's very simple is to just, when you're playing a scale, say the notes as you go. So if I'm playing a D there, I'd play D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, okay? There's the pattern, and I just say the note names as I work up through it. There are loads and loads of exercises and drills for practicing scales, and I've got lots of lessons devoted to them. So just check out the lesson map over at talkingbass.net for more info. Okay? I'll see you later.